In this video, we're going to be talking about the difference between saving and investing your money, why it's so important to distinguish the two, and some practical steps that you can take to start saving and investing your money today. What's up everyone, my name is Edley and you're watching The TMF Show. So anything you don't spend in your bank account is good, right? Wrong. A lot of people don't distinguish between their savings and their investments. In this video, we're going to be going through exactly what the difference is between saving and investing, why it's important to separate the two, and our take on how you can get the maximum amount of return on your savings and make the right investments with your money. First, let's talk about savings. Savings are your rainy day fund. It's your emergency money and therefore should be accessible easily in the event of an emergency. We're talking about money that you need in an actual emergency, like if you lose your job, if you get into a car accident, or if you have to bail someone out of jail. It's good practice to have between 3 to 12 times of your monthly income in savings. Yes, this is a large range, but we gave this number for a reason. The reason is because you have to identify the sweet spot yourself. And this sweet spot depends on how confident you are in securing your next stream of income if you would lose your current stream of income. If you have a lot of financial commitments like a family to feed, a mortgage, or a car loan to pay, then you should save at least 6 months of your living expenses. If you're a fresh graduate or you don't have a lot of financial commitments, you can get away with 3 to 6 months of your living expenses. And now you know why we don't recommend getting yourself into financial commitments, especially if you're young. We talked about this in our previous video on how to get started in your financial journey. Now, it's important to build your savings first before you venture into investments. This is because your savings act as a safety net for your financial life if anything were to go wrong. If an emergency happens, knock on wood, then it's a lot less stressful if you had the cash to cover it. As a bonus, when you have a reasonable amount of money saved up, you'll have more confidence in making your financial decisions and you won't make risky investments based on emotions. So when you're looking for places to stash your emergency fund, you should look for these two criteria. First, it has to be liquid, meaning it's easily accessible. For example, going to an ATM machine and withdrawing your cash. Second, it has to be safe. Now, with these two criteria in mind, let's talk about some of our options when it comes to stashing away our emergency fund. Option number 1, stashing it under your pillow. Yes, that's as liquid as it gets, but it's not very safe, so we don't recommend that. Option 2, in your bank account. Like we mentioned earlier, this option is extremely liquid as you can go to the ATM anytime to withdraw your cash. We recommend putting 30% of your savings, or at least 1,000 ringgit, in that account in case of an emergency. In general, savings accounts give a return of about 1.5% to your money. When you compare this to Malaysia's inflation rate of about 2 to 3%, you're actually losing money by keeping it in your bank account. And this is why it's important to not only save your money, but invest it. If you don't invest your money, you will be losing money every day because of inflation. Inflation is when the general price of things increase, and as a result, you can buy fewer things with the same amount of money you once had. Now, that's a general explanation of what inflation is. If you would like us to do a dedicated video on inflation and how it affects your wallet, let us know in the comments. Which brings us to our third option, amanah saham, which in our opinion is the perfect bridge between savings and investments. It's not as liquid as your savings account, but a quick trip to any major bank will give you access to your cash, which is good enough. But the true beauty of an amanah saham account is you'll be getting a 5.5% return on your money, and that's on a bad year, which blows away any savings account. In the future, we'll dedicate an entire video of what amanah saham is and how you can get started. And if you're from the future, that video will be down below or up here. Our fourth and final savings option is fixed deposits, or FDs. Fixed deposits are extremely liquid thanks to technology and online banking, so you can tell your parents that you don't need that physical certificate anymore. Fixed deposits can be uplifted at any time, and while you may lose out on interest, it's not a significant amount. These are your savings after all. They're meant to provide you with a safety net, not great returns. Now, if you've already saved up a comfortable amount, you're ready to start investing. Investments is where you let your money grow and build your wealth. Think of it as planting a seed for your future that provides you an endless amount of fruits if you take care of it. And you don't want to be pulling your seeds out of its roots before it even has a chance to grow. The same concept applies here. Investments are not meant to be withdrawn in the next 6, 12, or even 24 months. If you'll be needing the money soon, don't put it in an investment. This is because investments are volatile and can decrease in the short term. Imagine putting in 1,000 ringgit today, and when you need it 2 weeks later, its value has dropped to 800 ringgit. Leave the money in there to grow. Ignore short-term price fluctuations and keep nurturing your seed by depositing a regular amount automatically. One day it will pay you dividends. Okay, so you might be wondering, where exactly do I put my investments? We put our investments into 2 categories. The first is safe investments, and the second is riskier investments. Just because you have your emergency fund set up doesn't mean you can go crazy with risky investments. A good rule of thumb is to take 100 minus your age, and you'll have the amount in percentage to put in riskier investments. For my example, I'll take 100 minus my age, 22, to get 78. So I'll take 78% of my investments and put it into riskier investments. The idea is to look for riskier investments that give a better return. There's no point adding extra risk with no extra benefit. A good benchmark would be Amanah Saham's rates. If it doesn't outperform Amanah Saham, then don't even bother. And the remaining 22% should be in safe investments. Why? Because the younger you are, the more time you have before you need to cash that money out for retirement. So any short-term volatility like the 1996 Asian financial crisis or the 2008 recession will have a little impact on you. You just need to keep investing regularly. All Malaysians get around 22% of their base income in EPF. This is considered a safe investment since the fund doesn't decrease in value, so keep that in mind when allocating your portfolio. So here's a short list of safe investments. 1. Amanah Saham. 2. Government bonds. 3. Treasury securities. And 4. Fixed deposits. Nearly everything else, like the stock market, is a riskier investment. If you want a behind-the-scenes look on our personal portfolio, click the link in the description to read the full article. Okay, so that was a lot of information. What can you do right now to gain something out of this video? First, check your savings account. If you have less than 3 to 6 months of your living expenses saved up, then you need to start saving immediately. This is really important before you start your investment journey, and you don't want to skip it. That's the first and only thing you should do right now if you don't have any savings. Save a comfortable amount every month automatically before you do anything else. If you have more than 3 to 6 months of savings and it's your first time investing, consider safe investment options like Amanah Saham or fixed deposits. We'll cover that in a future video, so stay tuned. So that's it today for the TMF show. Let us know down in the comments if you have any questions or if you would like us to talk about any topic that you have in mind. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who needs to watch it so that you can help us help more people understand their finances. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so that our videos come straight to you every Monday. Until then, my name is Edley and I'll see you in the next video.